was doing good. I started having my first $20,000 months. I did $30,000. I went up to like $64,000.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden I kept going like this. 64. I started doing this, started going backwards. That's when you realize like life is a fight for territory. The moment you stop fighting for the things you want, the things you don't want start to take over.
What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of Dominate the Decade podcast, Domination Conversation, where we talk to real life entrepreneurs who are absolutely crushing it in their respective industry, and they come to give the real life game on Dominate the Decade. Look, I got a very, very special guest, man. This is somebody that I consider and I call a brother. You know what I'm saying? And we recently got tapped in not too long ago, but it's been some years, but it just seemed like it was just yesterday. My guy, JD, man, Jarrell Dinkins, the one and only, man. Talk to the people, man. Introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
What's up, family? My name is Jay Dinkins, but y'all call me Jay Dinkins. No, I'm just joking. Y'all call me JD. And man, I teach people how to make money on Airbnb without having to purchase a property, but most importantly, in less than 20 minutes a day, right? Because I like to have a lot of my time, energy, and I like to be able to make some good money.
That's good. So you teach people how to get into the Airbnb space and work it only 20 minutes a day?
Yeah, less than 20 minutes a day. I say 20 minutes a day for a new person, but for me, it takes us like less than 10 minutes a day. But if it takes you more than 20 minutes a day to do this business, you're doing it wrong.
All right, so now I want to understand this, because I understand the industry, but like, how many units do you have? 12. And it's taking you less than 20 minutes a day?
Yeah, less than 20 minutes a day, because you put everything on, I like to say put it on autopilot, or people call it like automations. Yeah. So it's basically where you put systems and apps in place, right? This is 2025. You got AI, you got all these apps. Yep. If you put the right systems and apps into use, then it takes away a lot of your responsibility. And all you're really doing is communicating with the guests if they have questions.
Yeah. Now you gotta understand, JD, like there's somebody literally like right now watching this. Cause like I want to just get straight into the game, and we'll go to backstory. We'll talk about that in a second. Yep. But like, it intrigued me, and I know it's intriguing somebody that's watching this. They're saying, this man said he got 12 units, and we're gonna get into the money part in a second. We got 12 units that he's able to manage in less than 20 minutes per day. And how much money are you making?
So with the Airbnbs, it'll go depending on the season. Like with 12 units, you could look at like 30-something thousand a month on the low, and then my highest months have been like $65,000 just from the Airbnbs. Then you got to pay your expenses and stuff too.
All right, now hold on,
That's off of one bedroom units though.
No, hold on, because again, we going back to the person that's looking at this. They're working their job right now, bro. They working their job, and they're saying, well, hell, I only make $8 or $15 an hour. Like, you telling me in less than 20 minutes every single day, when you add that up, that ain't nowhere near compared to, we talk about people working 40 hours a week, 160 hours every single month to bring home, the average American is bringing home 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 maybe on the higher end.
But that's why I do it, just to be transparent. For me, for years, I've been that person that I work jobs. Yeah. I worked jobs for 7 years, two jobs, and I had good jobs based on college degrees, and I was still broke, still living check to check. I tried many things: network marketing, party promoting, affiliate marketing. I tried all these different things. Yeah. But when I came across this Airbnb space, and I saw, number one, how possible it is, because there's a lot of things out there that people could do. Yeah. But the thing is, and they can win at it. Yep. And they can make a lot of money in it, but the thing is, if they don't feel that it's possible for them to do, they don't even try. Yep. So when I saw this industry, the reason I got so passionate about it is because I know that if I go ahead and present this to you and you see it, and I don't have to overcomplicate it, you like, man, I feel like I can do that. Yeah. And when a person feel like it's possible for them, they go out and do it. Yeah. So for me, the first thing that attracted me to this business was, one, I'm like, man, I could do this. And then when I saw that it didn't take a lot of time and how much money I could make off of properties I didn't own, I said, yo, this is the perfect industry. Wow. The truth is, I teach people how to do this, but I didn't want to teach. Yep. I felt like it was my calling. I felt like it was my responsibility, because in my head, I'm like, and I believe in God. I don't push my beliefs on anybody else. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, God is like, man, you done went through all these different things trying to figure it out. I bless you with this opportunity that can work for you and a lot of people. If you don't share it with people, you're selfish. Yep. Right. So yes, man. You could be a person right now making $8 an hour, and literally 6 months from now, you turn around, you're making $8,000-$10,000 a month off of one bedroom apartments. Because essentially, that's what we did. That's good. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to back it up for the people, because obviously, we can clearly see that you're making a lot of money, and I'm pretty sure you've gotten to that $1 million status, but here's what I want to know before we kind of dig more deep into the Airbnb thing. Like, where did everything start for you? Like, did you just, like, was you born into money?
Like, did you walk into some money? Did somebody give you some money to start Airbnb, or like where did life start? And has it always been good, or did you have to go through some stuff to get where you at?
Oh,
like,
nah, I definitely had to go through some stuff, man. I come from humble beginnings. I grew up in the projects. I come from struggle, like eggs and rice. Like hang your t-shirt out the window to dry.
Okay, yep.
Like stick your head in the freezer because sing into the fan. Hello, how are you? Like that. That's where I come from, bro. So I come from the struggle, but for me, I saw that environment, but from an early age, I knew I did not want that. Like I said, this is not my life. So I went to college. I actually got a basketball scholarship. Went to college, got the degree. And I couldn't wait to leave college because I'm like, I'm going to finally go work a job. I'm going to make this money. And I'm like, what? I'm going to go ahead and get it. I remember my first job I got offered was $34,000. I was hyped. So I moved back to New York. I started working 2 jobs. So I worked New York City Children's Services, basically working with abused and neglected children. I worked part-time at the YMCA because working one job wasn't enough. Even off of a college degree, it was never enough. And at the end of 7 years of doing that consistently, I was still broke. Every single month, I had more month left at the end of my money. Like, you ever got to the 15th of the month, all your money done ran out, and you like, I got to figure this out? That's what my life looked like. So I knew I had to find something else, and that's when, that's when I started to, put things out in the universe. Like, I got to find something new. I got to do something. From there, my friend introduced me to network marketing. So I got in network marketing. It was this travel company, blue "You Should Be Here" sign. Everybody looked at us like we was crazy. But honestly, it was one of the best things I ever did. It was like my introduction to entrepreneurship. And I'm not the person that get involved in something and don't go hard. Like, for me, if I'm in it, I'm gonna go as hard as I can. So within 2 years, I was making more money doing that than I was on my job. So I left the job, started doing that full time, and life was great, bro. I feel like I had finally found my thing. I did that for about 7 years. And
you did the "You Should Be Here" for 7 years.
7 years, bro. Did really good, man. And I was so you gotta understand, I'm working these 2 jobs. I'm barely getting by, and then I get put in a situation where I'm just telling people about travel. They're paying me $1,000 a month to drive a Mercedes Benz. I'm making like $90,000 a year, and at that time, my mindset was $100,000 is a lot of money. So to me, I'm living. Like, I'm balling. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't never going to work again. I'm making money. I'm traveling. And I thought I would do that forever. But God had another plan for me. That's why I always say that you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back on it. Because at the time, I felt like, man, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, nobody's traveling, the company's going out of business. I'm like, God, why are you doing this to me? I put everything into this. I'm not working a job anymore. I left my jobs in 2014, a year and a half after I started doing the network marketing, because I was making good money. And I'm like, here I am. I got to start over. So I literally remember being in my kid's bathroom. I didn't want to go into my bathroom because I didn't want my wife to hear me. Right? Because as a man, we got to be strong. So I'm like, I go in my kid's bathroom. I'm literally just crying. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm crying because I'm tired. Like, I'm fed up. I'm like, man, I gave my all into this. And it seemed like everything that I did, I feel like I always did things right, but I kept getting knocked back down, and I had to keep starting over. And then, when I looked in that mirror, I think the biggest difference for me was at that point, I really made a decision. And I made a decision that I was gonna really go all in, and it wasn't gonna be no, let me get debt free or financially free. I said, I'm gonna go out there and get everything that I deserve. And that day, everything changed for me. And you'll be surprised how when you start, I always say, if you step towards God, man, God will step towards you. I went all in on everything moving forward from there.
Damn, that's good. And I think that's very motivational for somebody that's listening to it. And I remember going through a similar situation in my life where I was doing multi-level marketing too, and I was selling life insurance and doing financial planning, and I'm door knocking, I'm cold calling, I'm hustling, and I'm just like, this got to be something better. And like you said, until you really tap into, the plans that God had for you, you don't really even know the plans that you got for yourself. So it's like you walking blindly, not realizing where you're already planning to go or where you need to be going. So I remember getting baptized again, and I'm in my late 30s.
Me too.
Going to church
Same
by
thing.
myself, getting baptized, and I'm like, I have to figure this out. I have to find a way because this is not gonna be. And like you said, this was during the pandemic, and I'm just like, I'm going through it, taking out loans, and just not in the best position possible. So looking at you now, obviously people know who you are. They kind of, they look at you like, okay, you married, you got the kids, you got the success. In your business right now, when we think about the success that you're having, obviously we know that you're making good money. But what does it look like when you talk about having a family dynamic? Because obviously you married. I want to kind of talk about you being married and having kids and being able to provide for your family. Because back then, you thought maybe $100,000 a year was a lot of money. But then now you're making really good money. I want you to kind of talk about the financial stability that you have now, the money that you're making now, and what it's able to do for you and your family.
Man, that's a great question. I remember actually somebody asked me a similar question, and I was doing an interview, and he said, now that you're making money, like, what are you able to do with it?
Yeah.
But I know, like, the way he said it was, he expected, like, oh, I'm able to buy my cars, about this or that. Yeah. But my response to him was freedom, bro. Like, I have the time. The money that I make affords me the ability to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
And for me, that's important. You know, for everybody else, and cool, I have a nice car, you know, and I'll talk about a little bit of that stuff too. But the biggest thing is being able to, like, just take time out of my life and not being, like, I don't want to say forced or obligated to work something. If I want to take off, it's me. Like, I control, you know, I control what I want to do with my days. So for me, I would say the biggest blessing that came out of all of this, you know, financially, is being able to afford the freedom to do things with my family. Like, I can remember this story when I was, it was, my daughter goes to school in New York, and at the time, my son was going to school in Connecticut. I didn't realize that they had off for a week at the same time. So I was talking to my wife. I said, oh, we got off for a week. I said, I didn't know they had off for a week. I said, we should go away. And I said, hey, let's just take a ride down to Atlantic City. We was in New York. She's like, I don't want to go there. I said, all right, cool. I said, hey, let's go. You know, our people's down in Maryland. Let's go to Maryland. Let's take a ride down to Maryland. She said, I really don't want to go there. I said, let's go to the Bahamas. She was like, oh, well. You know what I'm saying? She looked, and literally the next day we're on a flight to the Bahamas, right? So you get what I'm saying? It's like, I could never imagine doing things like that, man. There's so many things. Like, for me, you know, and here's the deal, and I'll put the dudes on the spot. It is what it is. Like, for me, the biggest blessing is being able to provide for my wife and be able to make sure that she has a soft life and make sure that her life is easy. You know, for me, I remember going to buy my dream car. She didn't know. I told her to record me because I was filming content, but when she walked in, she realized I bought her dream truck. Right? When I noticed the gas is low, I drive the truck down to the gas station. I put some gas in that truck. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure when we time to go get the car wash, we get the hand car wash, I make sure we paying for the car. I make sure the note. I make sure everything is paid. I make sure that she don't have to worry about anything financially. And for me, you know, people will look at that like, oh, you're a stay-at-home mom and you get all this, but they don't understand the value that it brings to me because I provide for her. Because now she doesn't have to stress of anything else. Her fully focus is taking care of the kids and me. So she can see things because she don't have to worry about nothing else. She could see things that I can't see. I might be like, I was talking to this person. She said, hey, listen, I don't think that person is right for you.
Ooh-wee. Hold on, wait. So you telling me, although maybe your wife does not, let's just say, make the money and do whatever you do, but she's an intricate part of the business and the success.
She's a big part of the success. A lot of people don't even know my wife is responsible for a lot of the moves that I make because, once again, for me, I'm on go. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm a person that I'm gonna be up to 4 a.m. I'm gonna be doing things like I'm gonna be like working. I'm gonna be going to do podcast interviews, flying here, doing this, speaking at this event. But my wife get to see. I'll give you a quick 1 or 2 examples. My wife would see and say, "Hey, no, you really need to put the computer down." Like, I see it. I've been in a hospital several times because I overworked myself, and I'll end up in the hospital, and now she can see that and say, no, put the computer down. You got to take this day off, or let's do this. I remember when she noticed my posture was getting different, so she bought me a desk that rolls. She noticed that I was having, like, she could hear me doing my work, and so she bought me another monitor so I can separate my screens. It allows her, the freedom that she has allows her to pay attention to my needs in ways that I can't pay attention to. And then I come home and I see I got 2 months. I'm like, oh, this made my life so much easier because now I can have this here, I can have this here. Now I can stand up and now my back doesn't hurt. Right? Oh, she knows I needed that. She got me the new mic. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always about buying this and buying that or buying the bag. It's like what she's able to do for me is it's called paying attention. That's what she paid for. She paid attention. She knows exactly what I need and when I need it. And she's able to do that same thing for the kids. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, man, making the type of money that we make, yes, you know, we're able to do some incredible stuff. You know, we both drive the cars that we want to drive. We live where we want to live. We're actually, you know, just, you know, in the process of building a home right now,
man, that's
which is insane. I mean, I come from I grew up in the projects. But I never imagined buying a house, let alone having a house built. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, being able to do that, you know, financially provide for my wife, and you know, it allows her to make me a better person. It allows me to keep on, you know, moving in my gift.
That's good, man. That's good. Damn. I heard you talk about like being able to have the flexibility and the freedom, and then you were talking about just being able to go. But you said something that I've never heard this. You from Connecticut, bro? Who lives? Bro, I've never met a person from Connecticut. And so when you think about being from Connecticut to where you at now, do you feel like no longer being in Connecticut has allowed you to be able to see and do different to get to where you at now? Or could you have stayed in Connecticut and had the success that you have now?
Nope. Not at all. And I love living in Connecticut, right? So when you're I'm from New York, so everybody know I'm from New York, I'm from the Bronx. I grew up in the projects in the Bronx. But a lot of people don't know, like 30 minutes away from there is a place called Stamford, Connecticut. And I live like right on the water called Harbor Point, like beautiful neighborhood. I mean, spotless, no garbage on the floor, like just beautiful. So when you're in the environment of like a New York, you want to get away from the people. So I wanted to be far enough from the people so they don't visit, but close enough so I can get home. The problem is, you know, with that mindset is I was separating myself from the people because I had nobody that was like-minded, nobody that can stretch me, nobody that can pull me to the next level. So I found myself in Connecticut. I loved the neighborhood, but the environment wasn't an environment that forced me to grow. So I was by myself. I was in conversation by myself. One of my best friends out there, he owned a direct sales company. Now we did different things, but he was the only one I feel like I can have a conversation with where I felt like, man, this dude is like he's motivated to do what he's doing. And I'm motivated to do what I'm doing. So I remember having these conversations with you. A lot of people don't know that you're the reason that I moved to Atlanta. You was like, hey, bro, you got to move out here. And at first I'm like, yeah, you know, I get it. But I remember, bro, and I'll share this with y'all personally, right? I remember I was starting to do good. Like I was doing good. I started having my first $20,000 months, and then $30,000. I went up to like $64,000. And then all of a sudden it kept going like this. 64. I couldn't break it. I'm like, damn, 64. I'm like, I know I can get. Like my goal is like I gotta get to $100,000 a month. And then it started doing this, right? It started doing this. Started going backwards. And then from 60 to 50, 50 to 30, 30 back to 20. And I'm like, yo, what's crazy? And that's when you realize, like, in life, like life is a fight for territory. The moment you stop fighting for the things you want, the things you don't want start to take over. And it just started going backwards. And then I remember just having this feeling, just having a conversation with my wife, and then 2 properties came available here. And I looked at my wife one day and I said, what you want to do? And she said, let's do it. And literally overnight, that was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We was on the grill downstairs with my brother. And then literally at 5 o'clock in the morning, we hit the road. We packed up overnight, I packed up everything into the truck and we drove down here. We moved. And look, and here's what happened. I go from sliding back to like $20,000 a month. And then within the next, I think it was about 4 months, I made $130,000+ in a month. And I went back to like 20 something, just being here. People always ask me, well, like why here? I'm like, yo, every you know, Marcus Rojo always says no words wasted. Like I feel like that's how it is here. But I can every time I hang out, we could go out to eat and we having just conversations about business. We can have fun. We can have a drink and then still talk about making money. We can still talk about, you know, being a better person. We could talk about eating better. We could talk about, you know, God. We could talk about every conversation. I feel like there's literally no words wasted. And they're always impactful and it's always stretching. And every day it's like, hey, yo, are we gonna go over here? Are we gonna mastermind here? Are we gonna go have dinner? So the my whole environment is different because now, as opposed to before, like before, I go out with friends and they just talk about nothing. I'm just sitting there like, so I'm not learning nothing. I'm not getting nothing out of the conversation. It may be fun, but I'm not getting anything out of it. Now there's never something that I do here that I don't get something out of it.
Now you touched on mentorship, and I want to make sure that people understand maybe the importance of mentorship or the power of mentorship. Can you speak on what has, you know, having a coach, having a mentor, just like putting yourself in position, even as a man, because I think this is harder for men to do than it is for women. Because even when I look at my coaching program, I have more women in my program that are looking to be led and are okay with it than men. So as a man being here, like, I want you to speak on how has having a coach and a mentor helped you, and do you feel like in your heart of hearts, do you feel like having a mentor or coach is more valuable and important than going to college? Or do you feel like a degree is? Like, because obviously you went to college. Yep. You've been on both sides of the field. I have too, and I got my thoughts on it. But I want you to share your thoughts on mentorship versus college, and then the importance of having a mentor and a coach, and what has it done for you?
Yeah. So I'm going to share one word with everybody on here, whether you are male or female, but especially if you are a male, because for a male, we think that, you know, we got to figure things out on our own, and that word is submit.
Yeah.
You got to come to a place in your life where you submit to coaching and you submit to the thinking that outthinks you.
Yeah.
Because in simplicity, if you knew what it took to be where you want, you would be there already.
Yeah.
Like, I've never in my life come across somebody that said, yeah, man, I know exactly how to make $1 million. I'm going to do it next year. No, you would do it now. Right? But the truth is, the thinking that got you into a situation doesn't possess the ability to get you out of that situation. So the things that you have been doing in your life, the choices that you made, the decisions that you have made, it got you to where you are today. And if it had the ability to get you out, it wouldn't have got you into it in the first place. So therefore, you have to find someone who can see things that you can't see. And you have to be willing to submit, meaning, and it's not, I get it, it's simple to do, but it's not easy because we're not used to saying, okay, I take my guard down, okay, forget what I know, tell me what to do, and then even though it don't make sense, I trust that your guidance is gonna lead me to where I need to be. That is the biggest thing I made in my life, and it was with you, where I got to a point in my life and I said, tell me what to do, and you would say things, and I'd be like, nah, I don't get it, bro, but how many times I said, no, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You know why? Because I know that if I knew the answers, I would be doing it. So obviously, if a person is saying, if you have a coach or a mentor and they're saying something to you, they're saying something to you because you can't see it. And it'll be those slight changes that will literally change your life. And it's always those slight, as many conversations I have with you, you'll say one thing and I'm like, all right, cool, let me do it. And I'm like, golly, look at this. All of this changed because I did that one thing. So sometimes for the people that's watching, it's not something big that you got to do, right? It may be slight things that be like, oh, you just got to do this. Yeah. But the mentor be able to see it. You can't see it. So you got to get a coach. You got to get a mentor. Was it more impactful than college? Absolutely. I don't even remember anything I've learned from college, to be honest. The best thing I got out of college is some of the relationships that I built and learning how to communicate with people. I think if a person decides to go to college, you know, much love, much respect to you. I would say the best thing you can do is from the time you get on, get everybody's number. Like when you leave there, have everybody's contact. That's the best thing you're gonna get out of college, you know. But for me, a coach in a specific area that you're looking to grow in, especially, like you're gonna the things that, first of all, you're gonna go to school for 4 years, get a degree, whatever. You'll learn something in freaking 3 to 6 months. Using my college degree, and I'm a very logical person, right? I got a college degree, right? Graduated like 22 years old. And for the next 14, 15 years, based on that college degree, I was still broke, living check to check. I get a mentor, and from a mentor, and I started to figure it out on my own, which is crazy. So college degree, I'm making, I think I got to like $60-something thousand a year. Then the second job, I was making $18 an hour. That's what I got with the college degree. Figuring it out on my own, I got up to about $9,000 a month, like just trying to figure it out. So on my own, I got up to $9,000, which was more than with the college degree. And then I got a mentor, and within 2 years, I'm talking $30,000, $40,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month. So, I mean, I don't really have to explain it like that. You can just see exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. Damn. What do you feel like is like the biggest difference though? Like, what is the big? Because like there's somebody on here right now, they probably watching this and they're saying, well, shoot, I'm still gonna go get my degree. They like, I don't care what he say, I'm still gonna go get my degree. What is that defining difference between, all right, having a degree and pursuing success, and having a mentor and having a coach and pursuing success? Okay. Because, and I'm asking that because it's not a blank question, because you've got a degree, I've got a degree. And again, I got my own thought process, my own understanding, because I feel like, okay, I'll just waste. When I went to college, the best that I got out of it was playing basketball and the relationships that I gained with those people, my teammates. Everything else was null and void.
Yep.
And I've never ever used my degree. So I want to talk to the person that's watching this and saying, well, I'm either about to go get a degree or I'm about to start going to college, but you telling me to not do that.
I got you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to help me make this decision.
So,
and not only that, but how can I decide who's a good coach or who should I pick to coach me? Like, what does that look like, JD? You know what I mean?
Right. So just talking about the school thing, right? When you look at a teacher or professor, they're paid to teach you a subject. They're paid to teach you a subject that they learn. Doesn't mean that they're actually doing the thing. I mean, just common sense would say like, all right, cool. Let's say a professor that we're teaching business, right? And you're getting paid 30, 40, let's say, I don't even know what they get paid on. Let's say you're getting paid 80,000. Let's say you're a good professor. I don't even know what that looks like, to be honest. But let's say you're a good professor, you're getting 80,000. If you knew how to run business and make $1 million, you mean to tell me you would choose to make 80,000? Right? Like you would say, no, but I'm like, once again, like to me, a lot of things are common sense. So how you're going to teach me business based on some information you learn that you could, recite from a book or that you could remember and just kind of teach because you're getting paid to teach me that subject, but you're not actually doing it because if you were doing it, you probably wouldn't be teaching, right? So when you have a mentor or a coach, this is somebody that more than likely have been through what you've been through, number one, right? So they understand where you're coming from. Like I got a college degree, you got a college degree.
Yep.
Right, so you understand what that process looks like.
Yep.
But then in real life, you went out and actually did the thing.
Yep.
So you can either learn from a person who just teaches the thing, or you can learn from a person who actually did the thing. Right? So I would rather have the person who, look at, a mentor told me before, if you want to be successful, find someone successful at what you want to do and do what they did. And he say, find someone who can successfully teach what you do. Find someone who has created success doing what you're looking to do and do what they did.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
That's good. That's good. So you saying without a coach, without a mentor, you wouldn't be in Atlanta?
No.
You wouldn't have been able to buy your dream car?
No.
You wouldn't have been able to buy your wife her dream car?
No.
And you wouldn't be building a house right now?
No. And my thinking ceiling would still be here. Most importantly, when I was in network marketing, they had this big old ring. When you made $100,000 in a year,
oh, I know.
Yeah. It was this big ring, and and then there was the $1 million ring too. But the $1 million ring seemed so far. Like I said, if I could just get to that $100,000 ring, I put my ceiling here. That's what it did. I put my ceiling here. When I started having conversations with my mentor, I remember without you telling me, I just remember hearing conversations about making $1 million in a day. So now I realized I was having a conversation with Darius one day, and we was just talking about like $1 million. It was like $1 million in a month that you did, right? But we casually talked about it like it was just normal.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. It stretches you.
Yeah.
You see, for me, before mentorship, it was I put caps. Like when I was making $90,000, I thought I was the shit. Like I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm doing $90,000 a year. I got a Mercedes. What? I'm lit.
Yeah.
But now, bro, we talk about $90,000 like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not like, we literally have conversations about making millions of dollars casually. Yeah. Like if you say, man, I did like $1 million yesterday. I'm not gonna be like, wow, bro. It's just like, oh man, that's dope, bro. What you do? Yeah, bro, why don't you just switch this? And it's a casual conversation, bro. Yeah. So, yes, I wouldn't be able to have the car. I wouldn't be able to have this. I wouldn't have the lifestyle. I wouldn't have moved. I wouldn't have been doing none of the stuff I'm doing. But bigger than that is I wouldn't be thinking on the level that I think, and that allows me to do the things that I do. Yeah. Because the things that seem like a big deal to other people, to me, it's just a normal thing. It's like a normal day in business. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about the money. I'm just talking about the possibility of doing certain things where people are like, I don't know if I can do that. It's not even a thought in my mind. I'm like, I know I can do that. Yeah. All right, cool. Tell me what I need to do so I can go out and get it done because I know it's possible.
Wow, that's amazing. Being around people that can outthink you, and then thinking that you made $90,000 in a year, that was a lot of bread. That's actually crazy. Yeah, that's actually crazy. Cause like on some real stuff, like in this past, we sitting here right now, and we ain't got to talk about dates, but in this past like 72 hours, how much money have you made in this last 72 hours, roughly?
At least 180, I believe, right now.
Now I got for clarity.
180,000.
180,000.
In the last like not even 72 hours yet.
Maybe about 48 hours or so.
Yeah.
And obviously being a part of the program, having me as a coach, having me as a mentor, what is the most money that you've made in a month and maybe in a day, roughly?
The most money I've made in a day was over $300,000.
Yeah.
And the most I've made in a month, well, the time that I made the 300, like a little over 300,000, that month I had already made like 60,000. So it's like I still didn't crack that 400,000 in a month.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna do it.
Now is that crazy to you though to think about it?
No, it's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Like insane. And sometimes I have to realize, depending on who's around when I'm having certain conversations, I gotta realize that when I say things, because I say it so casually, it's like, oh yeah, I did 300,000 in a day and this, and other people's like, well, hold on, what you did? But to me, I'm like, damn, but I gotta get to I need to get that 500 in a day. I need to get that million in a day. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, it's the people I surround myself with. When I have conversations, when we out casually in dinner, people talking about what they've done in a day or a month or a week. And so, yeah, man, it's like close to 400,000. I'm pretty sure I'll do more. I'm gonna definitely surpass that this month, man. God is incredible. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's insane. But just even think about how 4 years ago, I was in my kid's bathroom, looking in the mirror, crying, saying, God, what are you trying to teach me? Like, what is this happening? And how being willing to submit to coaching could change everything in a matter of a few conversations, a few meetings, a few points and directions. That's it.
Man, that's
now,
good.
You said, how do you know who's the right mentor?
Yes.
How do you find the right mentor?
Yes.
Well, one of my mentors, he would always say, and it makes so much more sense to me, that's why I say it so much. He would always say, you have to find the thinking that outthinks you, right? He would always say that. I'm like, he would always say that, and then he would always say, you need to inspect what you expect. Mm-hmm. So he would say these things, and then it sounded cool, so I'll repeat it, but then I start to understand it. You got to inspect what you expect. Yeah. Meaning if I expect you to bring me to $1 million, I got to inspect on if you can actually take me there. So one of the easiest factors is I'm looking to see if you have the life that I want. Now, not if you're making, it's not just money. Bro, how are you with your kids? Mm-hmm. What's your lifestyle like? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to be able to see, like, bro, in everything that you do, it inspires me. So for me, I got to be around that type of energy. There could be somebody who make money. I'm like, yeah, but you don't impress me with your actions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like the way you move, bro. Like, to me, sometimes I'm going to keep it real. I know a lot of people make money. They corny as shit to me. I'm like, yeah, but I don't even like the way you move with your family, bro. I didn't even know you had kids. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm looking for somebody that their life is, it's a reflection of what I see my life to be like. Yeah. You got to be able to force me to grow. You get what I'm saying?
That's good.
You got to be able, bro, I remember you used to say things like talking about, remember, I wasn't even thinking about buying the house. And you would make it, you like, yeah, you could buy this house. And you would send me homes that was like $750,000. I was like, I don't know why he sent me these homes for $750,000. I'm not buying it. And you would be like, yeah, well, if you buy this home, the down payment will be this. And technically, you got this program. If you do this one time, that's that. I'm like, God damn, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you get around the people that's really doing it and you really inspect, you really get to see what they're doing. What are they doing for themselves? How are they doing financially? That is important. That is important. Yeah. I need a coach that's making some money.
I think and what you just said is really just a concept of when you change the way you're looking at things, the things that you're looking at will just finally change. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a concept of helping somebody see from a different lens, have a different perspective, mm-hmm. because I think that there are more people that are unsuccessful than successful because they just simply don't have the right thought process. They don't have the right vision. They can't see what successful people see. And that's why when you hang around successful people, just by default, you end up being successful, like just by default, right? And so here's what I want to know. I want to know, is there anything today that I didn't ask you that you want the people to know about you?
You asked me, we talked about it, but I'm gonna go back to it.
Talk to me.
I am able to perform and be the person that I am and make the kind of money that I make because how happy I make my wife. And it is the biggest thing, the biggest change that I've made in my life. And I get to look at it and say, damn, the more, the easier I have made her life, the more successful I've become.
Yep.
And so every day I live to just keep making, like, don't even worry about it. Like, how can I make you happy?
Yeah.
How can I make you not have to think about nothing?
Yep.
Like, all day, your focus is making sure our kids are taken care of the best, making sure that everything is needed. My family, like I have a big family. They all contact her. I'm busy.
Yeah.
She makes sure everything's gonna be arranged. This is gonna be happen. I tell people, they be like, hey, yo, but if my wife said it, she done researched it, looked it up, made sure that did the reviews, did it, everything. She's gonna make sure anything that's involved with me is gonna be top notch.
Yeah. So
I get to go out there and do what I need to do, and I ain't gotta worry about nothing else. Besides, I get on my nerves once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
You know, she gonna get, yes, you get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, bro, like, you know, it's crazy how, like, you'll look at things in your life and you'll see, like, oh, if I do this, I'll become successful. And it be certain things that it's just like, it's hard to explain it, but when you start doing it, you'll realize it.
Yeah.
And like, I start to look back, I'm like, okay, cool. There was a time in my life, bro, where we was doing 50-50 on bills. Like, yo, working.
I was going to ask you about that. Like,
yo, we doing 50-50 on bills. I was trying to figure life out.
But that was the season, though.
That was the season.
It was a season for 50-50.
And there was a season where when network marketing, when it went with trouble from 2017, bro, to 2020, it was one of the hardest, like 2017 was one of the hardest years of my life. This is where I stopped getting paid. I couldn't pay my bills. Financially, I was messed up. I'm maxing out credit cards. I remember being in the gas station, my mother, my wife, my daughter, and my brother in the car. They have no idea, but I'm at the gas station with a credit card. The credit card got a little over $5 on it, and I'm praying that sucker go over. Like, I put the credit card in, I'm like, come on, $4, $5, $6, come on, baby, max that sucker out, baby. But they like I remember those times, and then I started drinking a lot, multiple DWIs, had to go to jail, had no income coming in. Guess who went back to work? Wifey. She went and held it down. She went and held it down. So I be seeing a little slick, like, you know, and my wife, you know, ladies take things a little different than men. Like, my wife could be having a conversation with friends, and they'll be like, oh, I want a husband like yours. My wife is like, what you mean? What you mean you want a husband like mine? You pay attention. But I'm like, what they see is the finished product. Yeah. They don't see the JD in the process. Yeah. She was through the process. You know what I'm saying? She understood what that process looked like. So for me, during those times, it was always a struggle. You know why? Because my wife would want time. She would say, oh, but why don't you stay home with me? But why we can't do this? Or why we don't go out as much? Yeah. And my response was, I can't do that. I got to go get this money. I got to go make this. So now there was always a constant friction. She's looking for time. I'm looking for money to provide. Yep. When I get to the point where I make enough money to provide, I can give her the time and the things. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So now, the more stress I take off of her, the more time I'm able to give her, the more I'm able to provide for her, the more it alleviates her stress, the more I can just focus on what I got to do. Yeah. Nah, and shout out to Miss Dinkins, man. She gets it. And I remember she made a post the other day, and she was saying it's not happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. And I was like, nah, she a real one for that. So shout out to the wife, man. You know, my wife and your wife, they like twinsies. They think alike, they act alike. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they is some twins, man. And I think it's because the background is the same. They come from similar backgrounds, but they have very similar husbands who are looking to take care of their spouse. But then also too, they was with us shooting in the gym. Like, there you go. Like, I met my wife when I was making $12.50 an hour. The process. And she's been through that, like you said, through the process. She's been through that through the thick and the thin. And so now to be where we at, it's kind of like you deserve to get the fruits of the labor that we did this together. And so now, man, it's a beautiful thing. But man, I want you to close this out. I want you to, in closing, I want you to help somebody who's watching this episode right now. What is one word of advice or a piece of encouragement that you can give somebody that's watching this that they can take from this and actually go and dominate their decade? Absolutely. you'll see people like us, you'll see people all around, especially with the internet today, and you'll see this great life because nobody's promoting the bad parts.
Yep.
It's just a highlight reel, right? And you'll see that, but I want you to understand that sometimes, you know, we look at that and we think that everything that we do, we got to get those results. But you got to realize that sometimes your biggest blessing comes through the process, right? You may be at a job right now and you like it and you love it and you really believe that that's what God called you to do. But sometimes God is calling you to go through that season to prepare you for what's happening next. So I say that to say, for those of you who are in a situation where you're trying to figure it out, where you are, you know, maybe you're struggling, maybe it's hard for you. You got to understand that there is something that is there's a reason why God placed you in that season, and you got to figure out, what is it am I supposed to learn from this season of my life that's going to take me to the next level. I know it's hard as hell because you see all these people winning, but you got to be willing to stay on your path, because when it happens, it's going to be too hard for you to stop. Like when it starts, when the overflow come, it's you ain't gonna be able to stop, bro. You can't stop the winning if you try. If you literally try to say, no, I'm not gonna win. No, I'm not gonna. It don't matter what you do at this point. You can't stop the blessings that God had for you. But you also understood that there was lessons that you needed to learn in a season. So my advice to whoever is watching is, figure out what is it. What am I? You know, I changed my mindset from, God, why are you trying to do it? Why are you doing it to me? To what are you trying to teach me? And now when I look at that, in every season of my life, whether I'm going through struggle, whether things are okay, I'm always thinking like, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to teach me? And then once I get through it, I made it like, now I know. This is why I say you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back on it. When a network marketing company shut down, I said, God, why are you doing this to me? I didn't realize till years later that during that time, 100,000 was the greatest. It was the biggest thing to me. 100,000 in a year. And God was saying, bigger. Bigger.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. That's spot on. You can't deny what you just said. You can't be mad about that. You can't be mad at that at all. So listen, family, man. My boy JD just came through, gave us a word. I need y'all to do us a favor. If you're watching this episode, I need you to make sure you more than likely like and subscribe. Share this episode out with somebody. But more importantly, I need you to take the conversation that you heard today. I need you to share it with somebody. But more importantly, take the information and don't just take notes. I need you to take action and do what you need to do in order to go and dominate your decade. And while you're doing it, love on the people at the same time and keep God first. That is another episode of Domination Conversations. We out. Let's get it.